I have a confession. I have been living in survival mode for quite some time, and I don't want to be living in survival mode anymore. And maybe you don't want to be living in survival mode either. See, the thing is, I think this world really puts us in this programming of survival, and I think this is something that our ancestors have been dealing with ever since they were around years and years ago. And really, all of humanity has been thrusted into this position where at one point in time, we literally needed survival mode in order to survive. But now we're at a point where being in survival mode ends up hurting you more than it does helping you. Now, one of the major reasons why I'm even talking about this is because I want to transcend, okay? I don't want to be in survival mode anymore. I want to be in a thriving mode, and thriving mode and survival mode run contrary to each other. You can't thrive if you're focused on surviving. And part of the actions that come from survival mode is that you block off your heart space and you don't listen to what your heart is telling you to do because it seems way too scary to do so. Because, oh my gosh, if I follow my heart, then I might die. And it's usually not that serious, but because our brains are so old, thousands of years old, we still think like that. So until you start to really get to know your brain, get to understand your brain, and start to act in a different way, given the knowledge that you have of your own brain and the mechanisms that literally keep you alive, is when you're able to start to unblock your heart space and to really unblock many different areas within your auric field so that you can open yourself up to be a clear channel for the divine to work through, whereby you can allow your authentic self, your authentic energy to drive every single thing that you do, as opposed to this blocked off energy that wants you to survive, but unfortunately is keeping you from thriving. Now, I got a car last week and I'm so freaking grateful for it, okay? It's literally like the best thing ever. I don't even know how to explain how grateful I am for this car, because the amount of freedom that I now have is immense, okay? From being someone who had to wait for the bus, to go to work, to come back from work, could only really go to work that wasn't too far away, because then I would be on public transportation forever, especially remote locations. Now I can go anywhere. Literally, I can go anywhere. I can drive anywhere. I can leave when I want. And it's so awesome. I am so grateful. And it's little things like that that really make your life so much better, okay? Now, something that I've noticed with myself ever since I got this car is that I've been doing a lot of Uber Eats trips, okay? I've been like, okay, well, I have to pay for this car, so I guess I have to do Uber Eats. And see, the thing is, me deciding to do Uber Eats, that wasn't a decision that I made from a heart-centered place. That was a decision that I made from a survival place. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for this car? Oh my gosh, da 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 da. And that is an old frequency that I want to leave behind, because that is not the frequency that I need to be on in order to create abundance. If you are on a frequency of survival, if you are on a frequency of needing to do something instead of wanting to do something, everything is going to feel like a task that you don't want to do. Okay. And it's not going to come from that joyful, excited, energized place. It's going to come from this lower density energy place that is actually going to hold you back from getting you to where you truly want to go. And I had an experience earlier today where I had kind of said yesterday, I was like, oh, like, I don't really want to do Uber Eats anymore. It's so ridiculous, whatever. But I was hit with a test today, right? Because I was looking at my bank account and I was like, man, like, I want this to be something different. You know, I have my car now, and I was getting so caught up in the look of things right now, even though I just got a new job as well. That's another manifestation that came through. I literally had the call today. So I have a new job where I'm going to be making more, literally doing less work. Okay. And I'm going to be in a better environment. And I'm really excited about that. Not to say where I was at previously was bad. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the people, but I was feeling like it was time for me to move on. So I got this opportunity and I got the official offer today, and I'm really, really excited to do it. And I'm literally making $4.5 extra an hour, plus I'm making 3% commission. Okay. And I'm going to be getting more hours than I was at my other job. So it's like things are looking up for me. And that's one of the reasons why I got this car in the first place, because I knew that I would be able to afford it. And I knew the freedom that it would enable me on top of the fact that I'd be getting paid more money. Okay. And the decision to get the car came from a high frequency place, because I was thinking about how awesome it would feel to drive myself around, to have the freedom to go to a job that I was making more money, okay? To have so much more freedom, right? That's really the major feeling that I was tapping into when I was imagining myself in this car, getting this car. And then it happened, within a week, I had a car, right? So manifestation is so key. And even the story of me getting the car is just so magical. Okay. It really is a magical story. So basically what happened is that I got this letter from a Honda dealership in my area, and it said, hey, we would love to get you in a car. You've been pre-approved to get a loan for a car. So I was like, okay, cool. This is awesome, because I've been thinking about getting a car. But initially I was thinking about getting a Toyota, but I said, you know what? Let me look into the Hondas. So I look into the Honda HR-V, okay? It's a small crossover. It's the step under the CR-V. And I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect. I can carry stuff in my trunk if I need to, and this will be great. So that was a car that I start imagining driving. I set up an appointment through the letter that came in the mail and with the dealership. So I knew that I had a job interview on a Tuesday. So I set up my interview or my appointment to go to the car dealership on the Wednesday, because I already knew going into this job interview that I was going to get it. Okay. I'd been imagining myself working there. I'd imagined myself with the interview going really well, us hitting it off. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going to get this job. I need a car. So the interview happens and it ended really well, but I didn't really hear anything about whether or not I got a job offer. I was just kind of told, yes, we want to have you, but we first have to work out some of the details because you want full-time, but this role is kind of only part-time right now, but it has the capabilities to become full-time and lead into something else. So I was like, okay. So Wednesday, I go to the car dealership and I test drive a CR-V, because I started telling myself, oh, maybe I should get a bigger car. Maybe I should get a CR-V. So I test drive with a CR-V, and I'm thinking I'm going to walk out of there with a car, right? I'm going to drive out of there with a car. I've been imagining myself driving out of the car dealership with my car. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, yay. So the whole day goes by. Something didn't work out with the CR-V that I had priced out. They said it wasn't going to go through with the loan, whatever, because I had specific terms. I said, I'm not putting anything down, and I'm rolling all of the price of the car into my monthly payments. Okay, that was a very specific thing that I imagined, and I wasn't going to need a co-signer. Okay, I was going to do it all on my own. So I come back later on in the day, right? Because they say, okay, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was getting paid that day, but I don't get paid until later. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to pay for my car insurance, which I had to have before I even got the car, until around 4:35. So I said, hey, I'll come back around 5. I can't do this thing yet. So I'll come back. No one said anything about it. Okay. because I was very vague, because when you're in the middle of manifesting something, you don't want to fuck it up, okay? Like, you really have to not disclose as much information as possible. Keep the vision in your mind of what it is that you're manifesting, and just persist. Just know it's going to happen, and do not give up, all right? So I come back and they say, hey, okay, since you switched the car to the to the HRV, it's going to take more. Your car's not ready. We're going to have to continue this tomorrow. So I was like, okay, whatever. So like, I'm still persisting in my mind that yes, I'm going to get this car. It's going to happen. It's already happened. I'm picturing myself driving out the car. So I didn't tell anybody in my family that I was getting a car. I just was out most of the day, and I didn't disclose any information about what I was doing, where I went, anything like that. So the next day comes, and I knew I had work at 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. So I get there at around like 1 p.m. and I'm like, I need to get out of here before 4, okay? So magically, they were able to work out this deal, and I was able to rope all of the cost of the car into this loan, okay? And they said that it brought the team together. They'd never seen anything like that. I ended up wearing this shirt that said, there are no ceilings, there's only plateaus, right? Like, your imagination has no ceilings, there's only plateaus, something like that. And I remember the finance person came up to me and said to me, she's like, wow, I really love your shirt. And when we were talking, she said, when I met you, like, there was just an energy about you, like, you don't understand how much your presence has really made such a difference in our dealership, and we realize that we can do so much more for our clients than we thought we could because of you. And I was like, oh my God, like, it was just such an amazing, incredible experience. Long story short, I get my car, I drive to work, and then when I was leaving work, I surprised my sister, because I work with her until I start my new job. And I was like, oh, I'm driving us home. And she's like, what? You got a car? And I was like, yeah, that's where I was yesterday and earlier today. I got a car. So that was the crazy story about how I got a car. And I'm just thinking about that when it comes to the fact that I don't really have to worry about how I'm going to pay for the car. I have the means to pay for the car. It's by me thinking that I don't have the means that creates that situation. And whatever situation that you're focusing on in your life, you are only going to create more of that if you are addicted to the feelings that you feel when you look at that situation, okay? And there's a person in my life who is kind of stressful, okay? They're kind of a lot. And I've been consciously reminding myself, like, hey, this is how this person is. You don't have to allow them to affect you. And it can be really, really hard in the moment to do that. But you have to remember the reason why this person is in your life, okay? They're in your life to help you get over something in your own life, okay? Because everyone is ultimately you pushed out. So there's an aspect of you in this person that you have contentions with that you need to get over in order to get to the next level. And when it comes to the car, and when it comes to me feeling like I had to do Uber Eats, it was because there was this aspect of myself that even though I manifested this car, even though I manifested this new job, I am still needing to shed that old part of myself where I live in scarcity, where I'm not moving from a heart-centered place, okay? We all have it, but are you going to shine a light on that aspect of yourself that is currently in the dark? And that is up to you. So if you like this message, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.